Hey, Sean Chandler here, and today what I wanted to talk about was mean and angry comments. And when you first start out on a YouTube channel, you're just happy for any comments. Anyone that actually has an opinion on what you said and gives you feedback that wants to join the conversation, that's so exciting. Because when you first start out, your first few videos, I don't know how many videos, no one's barely even watching, and certainly no one's commenting and joining in on the conversation. And then as you start to meet more people and you start to have not just people that comment, but people you really have a relationship with, that you have a rapport with, that you comment on their stuff, they comment on your stuff, people that just like to watch your videos and comment, join a conversation with you, you start to get some interaction and your channel starts to grow and it gets kind of exciting. Well, eventually what happens is that lots of people start discovering your content and they start to have opinions on it. And depending on how many new eyes that your videos are getting in front of, kind of changes the number of varying opinions. When it's just you and your buddies, it's just a nice, friendly conversation, some back and forth. But as soon as you kind of open the doors to the whole world of YouTube coming in to your channel, as soon as you start to have a few videos that really get some exposure, you get mean comments. It's going to happen as long as you're opening things up to people sharing. They're going to come in. And the thing that makes it so weird is that they're not necessarily going to comment on your ideas, but they will comment on your ideas. They're not going to comment on your video itself, though they might. They're just going to come in and say all sorts of crazy stuff. So you've got people that just vehemently disagree with you, and they're going to be mean about saying their differing opinion, but they're reasonable and rational. They're just kind of a jerk. Then you've got people that vehemently disagree with you and they're not logical at all. You disagree with them and therefore you're the bad guy. Therefore they're coming at you. And I put up this video. Well, I had like 2 weeks straight of just nonstop people angry with me. I did 1 week where I talked all about my other channels about TV, movies, and stuff like that. And so I was talking about the CW crossover of all of their superhero shows. And generally speaking, it was a big mixed bag for me. A couple of the episodes I had some really big, strong criticisms of. And I did live commentary reaction to it right after they aired. I mean, they ended, I hit record, live streaming to it. And because I did that, I got a ton of new people. Subscribers to my channel weren't the people that watched and commented. It was all people that don't know me at all. They have no background on me at all. They just have this negative opinion that I gave. And most of them were just like, you're a hater, and a whole lot of just people coming at me, assuming things, writing me off, dismissing my opinion, personal attacks, because they love a show and I did not love that show that week. Therefore, they did not like me that week. And you have people like that. And that's what you open yourself up to when you voice an opinion, when you have thoughts on whatever your channel's about. If you talk about stuff, if you offer an opinion, that you actually take a position, eventually you're going to have to go negative. Eventually there's things that you're not going to like, because it does. If you love everything, then you don't like anything really at all. For there to be something to be the best, there has to be something that's not the best, and you got to really have the worst. And when you have things that are the best, you have things that are the worst, and you have things that are everywhere in between, then people understand what your opinion means. If you don't do that, if everything's just kind of in this middle ground of mediocrity, then no one's going to care too much about your opinion because you're not differentiating between things. But the problem with that is that almost anything getting made has fans, people that like it. And so if I trash Arrow for an episode, well, Arrow has millions of people that watch it every week. Some of them like to get on YouTube and have their opinion affirmed by other people. And so if they get on wanting their opinion to be affirmed and you're like, it's not so good, they're not going to be happy about that. And then the week after that, the Arrow situation, I trashed a trailer for the new Transformers movie. Well, the people that get on to watch trailer reactions for a new Transformers movie are some of the people that are making these movies so profitable. So they're not crazy about me going on and trashing the entire series. The target audience for a Transformers reaction video are normally fans of the series, and so just really angry, aggressive people defending the series came out to aggressively share their disagreement with me and just coming at me, not a lot of logic to it. And it's very simple. Of the scale of best worst types deals, I'm putting it pretty close to the bottom of things, especially when in terms of like big blockbuster franchises. This is near the absolute bottom. But this might be their beloved franchise that kind of defined their childhood or whatever. And so it's up here. And so they come to my channel expecting it to be up here, and I put it down here, and emotion comes out, and you get anger. Well, this only happened because I'm differentiating. There's things I'm putting up here, and there's things I'm putting down here. The full spectrum is present, and when I put it down below where you put it, you're not going to be happy with me. If you operate from a worldview to where you get emotionally invested and whether other people like what you like just as much as you like it. So you have those people. Then here's the weird one on videos where there's people that have an extreme agenda and they want to find people to leverage their platform to spew their agenda. So I put out a video several months back where I heavily criticized the trailers for Rogue One. Rogue One came out less than a week ago, and I really liked it. But the trailers, I was not so crazy about the trailers for it. So a guy gets on there, and he just writes this whole thing, misogynistic, sexist, all kinds of other labels, and all about The Force Awakens and how it was sexist, anti-men, pro-feminism, feminazis. And he posts this, and he's the pendulum swing of social justice warriors. So you have the social justice warriors that, well, you can't criticize Ghostbusters because then you're just a sexist against women. So you got those people. He's like the reverse side of it. Anything with women in it where women do something that a man doesn't do, that's offensive and sexist against men. I mean, it's the same bag of tricks. It's the same extremism. It's the same lack of balance. He's just on this highly overly sexist pro-men stance, as opposed to where us normal people in the middle that appreciate men and women and want to see men and women star in movies. He's just, man, how dare Ray fix the Millennium Falcon and not Han? So this guy joins in wanting me to be like his buddy, like, high five, man, yeah, another Mary Sue in Rogue One, more of this anti-men sexism, am I right? And I'm not going to do that. And so I said, for the many issues with The Force Awakens, for the many issues I have with the upcoming Rogue One, my issue is not that they star women that are capable human beings. That's not the problem. And even if the problem is Rey was too powerful, that's the problem, not Rey is this feminazi, anti-men, because Kathleen Kennedy has an agenda and she's forcing it through Jar Jar Abrams. And it's not that. Like, it's just they wrote the character bad. And the way they structured it, it just made her too powerful. She was too good at too many things. Bad writing, not feminist agenda. So you get those types of mean comments. So that one got hilarious, actually. It just turned bizarre because I just started messing with the guy and it went on there's over 100 comments just with this one guy. It's probably a waste of my time, but it was too much fun. But anyway, so all this long rambling talk. Why do I say all this if you're still watching? The thing is, you're going to get it, and you need to decide what you want to do with it. If it bothers you and you just want to delete it, if you want to block those people, that might be the right thing for you. I haven't blocked anyone, and I'm a bit of for the size of my channel, a bit of a lightning rod. I get a disproportionately large number of angry people, just kind of my tone, my attitude, the way I deal with things. If I'm going to write some sort of differing opinion that will incite frustration from a target audience, I'm going to come up with a title that will make it even worse. So right from the get-go of the title, they're they're coming in swinging at me. And I do that on purpose. I mean, it's just a headline writing tactic of, if that's what it's about, if I'm going to poke it, I'm going to tell you I'm going to poke it. Let's just get into it. And it worked. It got, some of these videos, it got people to come and watch them just because I intentionally picked a fight with them. And that's fair. If they want to disagree with me, that's cool. And I'm going to have a conversation with them. And if they want to heighten things and get more excited, I'll get more excitable too. Some people are just into that, and that's fine. That's what I do. But you really need to know it's coming. If you want your channel to grow, if you're putting an opinion out there, it's coming. And some of it's going to be nasty. It's going to be mean, cruel, and you just got to know that's coming. And you also have to, if you put it into perspective, it's hard to be terribly offended by it unless, I mean, if you're just really sensitive to certain things, especially if there's something about the way you talk, the way they can visibly see you, things that from your videos that they can attack your insecurities, you have to be aware that's coming. And if there's something you're really sensitive about, you just really have to factor that in, that there's people like that are going to go after you, and they're going to be superficial and petty and just mean. And it will happen eventually, and you just have to know it's coming. And it's unfortunately the cruel truth of the nature of putting yourself out there, is that people will find the most superficial things, the easiest targets, and they'll go after you. And they go after everyone that's big enough to be able to go after. And it's just the reality of things. So be aware of that and get ready for it, for when it's going to come. So long as people are watching your channel, if new people are discovering your channel, it's going to come. But the stuff that's not just mean-spirited, personal attacks at things about you or the way you talk, the way you look, other things they can just pick on about that are superficial like that. When it comes to them attacking your ideas, your opinions, it's hard to get to and care too much about it, because you just have to go, who's the person that's getting angry, mean-spirited, and just attacking you over the internet? Now, I mean, if they're attacking or disagreeing with your ideas and interacting with you logically and reasonably and offering back and forth, fine. But who's the person that, well, you actually liked Row One? If you like, how dare you? That Mary Sue movie from that feminist Kathleen Kennedy and her henchman J.J. Abrams and his team of people with Gareth Edwards, and all you're going to do is back up their agenda. This is minus many expletives, racial slurs, and any number of other inappropriate things. What this guy was actually throwing at me, but like if you're gonna if you could possibly get offended by that, maybe you shouldn't be doing this, because like, you shouldn't be offended by it because it's so stupid and ignorant. It's such a dumb position. It's such a bizarre thing to do that you have to have a side of you that pities the person in that position. And that's really the thing I think you need to hone in on some of this, is that whenever you get the mean comment, who would say that? Who's the person that would say something like that? And would I be offended by that person saying that to me in person, but disagreeing with me like this in person? If someone freaked out like this, the way they're doing over the internet to me in person, would I be offended by that? And just even some of the people that, like me, I'm a guy in my mid-30s. If some 15-year-old kid comes up, you insulted the prequels, how dare you, you're stupid, you're old man, you don't get it, you just... If they did that, I'd be like, oh, this is cute. I'll try and calm him down, but oh, this is kind of cute. And that's kind of the way I view a lot of this stuff on the internet. It's kind of cute that someone would freak out and yell at me over YouTube. It's cute. It's silly. If it feels like it's someone that's more older than my age, it's kind of pity. Or like this guy that was like, the feminazis and their agenda with it. I couldn't be offended by it. It was just kind of, I had fun with it because the guy was going back and forth. And so I was so not offended that I wanted more of it. I wanted to see how he would insult me next. What would he come up with? It's just kind of fun. But really at the end of the day, there's a side to it that I'm like, the level of just how pathetic it kind of was that someone was spending that much time on something so delusional that did not tie to reality, that their way of asserting kind of a dominance and having a sense of authority position and like, I have an opinion that matters, I'm doing something that makes a point, was to just say incredibly offensive things to me. And things that should offend me. If they came from someone I respected and said these, if someone I respected said these same things to me, it would have been devastating to me, because I respect their opinion. And if that's your opinion of me, that's a problem. However, this was not that. This was a guy that whoever was saying it to me, that they would say these things. It was just like, doesn't stick to me. I don't care at all. You could say anything to me because I have so little respect for you, a person that would say things like this to a stranger. And you have to filter it through all that and just know that's where the sort of stuff is coming from. So anyway, if you're still watching, what are your thoughts on this type of things? Mean comments, the ugly, the nasty. If you got a channel, tell me the weird stuff that you've gotten. It's been on my mind a little bit just because I've had kind of like 3-4 weeks straight of back and forth with different groups of people for different reasons at different times that it's been very much on my mind, especially because I can struggle at times with disagreement or when people, well, I can have thin skin about some stuff. There's certain contexts where I can really carry the weight of people firing back at me and disagreeing with me. And it's really stuck with me the last month that it's like, I am totally unfazed by the things people are saying to me directly at me, the personal insults they're throwing at me and this stuff. For the simple fact of the matter is that I'm just not offended by it. It doesn't bother me at all because I'm like, a lot of people like my opinion and I voice it well and I'm willing to discuss our disagreements. And if you just want to call me an idiot because I don't like Michael Bay's Transformers movies, that doesn't offend me because it seems like it's just a stupid position to be. It's like, all right, if this is what is so good to you that you're offended that people don't like it, that you can't see the faults in this, sorry, you have bad taste in movies. Really bad taste in movies, and so I'm just not offended by your opinion. So anyway, that's kind of my take on it. I'm going a little bit long on this video. I thought it was going to be 5 minutes, and we're at like 15 minutes. So what's your take on mean comments? Does it hurt your feelings? Do you carry the weight of it? Tell me what you think below. Thank you for watching the second channel. I've got another one. Maybe check that one out. Consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you watched all the way to the end, the secret password for me to know you did that is if you leave a comment that says in it 5, the word 5. That's our secret password. Thank you for watching.